Is this thing on? Hold on. Oh, hi. Hi, everyone. It's Jen, and welcome to Neighbors to Know, the virtual edition. Um, I have been kind of staying, oh, I'm Jen Pula, by the way. You can probably tell because we're Zooming, and my name is right there. I've been kind of hiding for the past 2 months, I guess. It was just around Pi Day that this whole COVID-19 thing started. Um, but after, gaining 7 pounds and not coloring my roots, I did today just for you, see? Um, I decided to make some changes and I'm like, the show must go on and I will not let this thing stop me. And here I am. So I do have a guest that we're going to talk to in just a second. But the change in intro, thanks to Mike Davis, was like a little humor of a spin on all this. There's so much that we can't control right now, and you can only control you. So yes, this is actually in my room. This is not a virtual background of dirty laundry in my bed. And I truly, one of my structures that I do is I make my bed every morning, but I didn't because I don't always do that completely. Anyhow, so my point is you don't have to be stuck here. I was I was stuck in a place where I didn't want to get up and do stuff. And I'm like, no, that's not me. I need to get up. I need to go do stuff. And that's why I chose the person that we're having on as a guest today. So I'm going to grab my notes, which I did last second, and my mug, shameless plug from my mug, and unplug my computer and hope my battery lasts, and leave my messy room because you don't have to stay. Let's go to tour. You don't have to stay, in one spot. You don't have to stay in your bed all day long. And you don't have to stay in your bed with a bag of chips that you're eating all day long either. So, there's my apartment. There's Manhattan. Here's your little view quick. And I'm going to come into my living room. So the point is, if you're sitting there playing 4 hours of Candy Crush, which I have never done, you don't have to stay there. You can get up and you can go do stuff. You can light a candle and, get yourself up and get yourself going. And the person that gets me up and going is my guest for today. When I'm having a tough time with lots of things, or even if I'm not, she lives just a few houses down from where I work. So I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to go take a walk. And I take a walk down the street and she's on the same block. So we can call her Jenny from the block because her name is Jenny. And I go to her house and she's there and she's always smiles no matter what is going on. And right now I think everyone needs a bit of smiles no matter what is going on. So I'm going to get off and share my screen and have Jenny Duncan come on and join us. Hi, Jenny. Now you can unmute.
Wait, can you hear me now? Am I there?
What?
Am I there?
I'm just messing with you. I can hear you.
Hi, Other Jen. This is two Jens.
I know, it's Jen and Jen.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see you. I haven't seen you in forever anyway, aside from this.
I know. It's all good.
It's all good. Yeah.
Good.
You're always like, whenever I come knock on your door and you're like, oh, just come in and you give me a hug. And I can't get the hugs right now. But,
No, but I'm like touching you through the computer screen and sending you big virtual hugs, and when we can, then I'll give you a real hug.
That sounds like a plan.
All right.
So yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts right now. And yeah, I was like not in a good place for a while and just not taking care of myself. And I had no reason to do that. So there are conscious decisions to get up and go do things. And I really want anyone that's watching to really get your energy today, because that's not how you don't let people stop you. You're like, I'm going to do whatever I can do just because I'm Jenny and that's how things work.
Well, I'm stubborn. So I don't no, do I? Yeah. So definitely stubborn.
So let me ask you, with all the stuff that's going on now.
Yeah, sure.
Well, actually, let's start with funny stuff because I feel like everything
Okay.
starts with negative. I do the news. It always starts with like not always, but it's a lot of negative. So no negative.
Sure.
So
Sure. Sure.
on your Facebook page,
Yes.
which we'll explain the backdrop of that later on, but on your
Yes.
Facebook page is the topsy turvy.
Patsy.
Right.
Hmm.
So, and you do these car confessions. I
I
love. So I watched yesterday. Um,
do.
and I hope your kids didn't watch, but I watched yesterday about like all the things that you
I
did
hope
that
they
you're
don't.
what was that?
I hope they don't watch it.
Right. We're live right now, people, so please don't tell her children that all right. So car confessions. For those that didn't see. All right. So hold on. I have like a lamp coming out of my head, but I'm not.
Oh.
All right, car confessions. Tell me about your
Mhm.
car confessions.
It's funny. It happens kind of organically in a way. I was just having one of those moments. So I did the first one probably a week or 2 weeks into quarantine. And we live in a tiny house. We live in a cape. And I just felt like I couldn't get any space at all. And I decided, where I can get some space? The van. So I jumped in my wheelchair and I rode out to the van. And I was in a silly mood and I had been talking with a friend and making bad jokes on the phone. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to, I don't know where these things come from with me. It just sort of, I mean, so yeah, I'm like, hey, I just want you to know, people, it's really okay to be real. I think that's what it really kind of boils down to, what's behind it. But it's also okay to kind of laugh at ourselves and I'm just a big kid, so I like to laugh. I like to laugh at myself, and I think when you can laugh at yourself, then it just really helps. So that was the start of my car confessional.
All right,
And
so top two, not just yesterday.
yeah.
I only watched two of them. I don't know how many you've
Right.
done. So top
There's
two,
another one I think today that got put up, but yeah.
top two confessional things that you did that you're ashamed of. Are your kids around? No one's
They're
watching.
upstairs. They're upstairs.
All
Oh
right.
boy, the top two that I'm ashamed of.
Or that you find the most funny,
The most funny. Well, I think hiding the last Diet Coke was pretty funny. So I have a kid that loves soda. And like if there's soda in the house, it's like he can sniff it out and it is gone like that. And I'm kind of a like let it sit and wait, and then when I have a hankering for it, I'll get it. So there was one left, and I knew we weren't going to the store anytime soon. And I just sort of like, I'm going to put this away for mom. So that was one that was kind of both naughty and maybe a little shameful. And then
Did you drink it yet?
I did actually.
Was it
That
really
was
good?
today's confessional. It was really good over ice. It's gone. The last Diet Coke is gone. We're 7 weeks in, honey. It's gone.
But I think like people are I'm really hard on myself. People can be really hard on themselves. And like I thought it was funny at first when like all right, so here's my first confessional, which I told my kids eventually. So Bedford Farms, if you're not from Bedford, it's an ice cream place. Like there's a lot of ice cream places in Massachusetts.
Yes.
They've got really good ice cream. So but they've been shut down for a bit. And I would drop my kids off at their desk and then come back and be like, okay, I'm going to go get Bedford Farms,
Yeah.
Because that's what you do is reward yourself with food, which is
of course, right?
Really
I was going to say all of mine are about food, by the way.
So they closed up and then they were doing pre-orders. So you can go online, like make a mad dash to get there on time to order what you want.
Yeah.
So I ordered 5 pints of ice cream. Because I'm like, okay, my one kid would like this, and one kid would like this, and then I have 2 over here for me, whatever.
Sure.
And throughout the week, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, weekend, oh God. I think it was the Friday. I picked them up Friday and they were gone by Tuesday. And I ate every friggin' one of them. And it seemed funny at the time. And then I've been going on the Wii, and then the Wii chick says to me, well, I won't use the O word that she used, but she's like, you gained 6.6 pounds. And I'm like, what? So yeah. So I've been playing Wii tennis to try to get rid of the you can't keep doing
Brad
that.
and I have been doing We Dance, the Just Dance one.
Yeah.
It is hysterical. I'll have to share a video or two of that. There are a few, I'll just say.
All right, number two. Number
Kill
two,
me.
and then I have a dying question to ask you.
Okay, number two would also be about food. And it would involve similarly. So we live Bedford Farms, and then we found Abbott's in Lexington. Oh my word.
Where's Abbott?
It's right on the main drag, right when you come into Lexington Center. So before you get to like Center, is it across from the library? I think it's across from the library.
Okay.
And it's like a frozen custard place, but they make the most amazing chocolate shakes. And we didn't go there, but we had some frozen yogurt in the freezer, and my oldest and I decided we needed something. So we blended up. It was going to be well behaved. It was going to be bananas and yogurt, and it turned into chocolate and frozen yogurt. And it tasted so much like an Abbott's chocolate shake that I was like going to split it. And I was like, oh, I don't really want to give it away. So I took a few big gulps, and then I was like, okay, tell your brother that it's here. And I'm at the bottom of the stairs like, okay, I'm gonna give it away. I'm gonna be a good mom here, and I'm gonna give my portion away. And he was asleep. And so I'm sort of ashamed to say that I was really, really excited.
So you ate it while your child was sleeping.
So that I still didn't eat the whole thing. I ended up giving more to the bigger kid because he wanted more. But I was like, yeah, that's the shameful part, was that I was secretly really glad.
You're sitting outside your kid's room and you're just like waiting for him not to wake up as you're eating your ice cream.
Like,
with the Mission Impossible song in the background.
Yeah. So the deal is, so I don't buy ice cream, and normally I don't even care. Like if it's in the freezer, it doesn't call to me, but it did this time. We'll just say that. So those are my big shameful things, as well as my little, I did say I was going to the grocery store one time, and I did drive to the grocery store. I just sat in the parked car. That's where one of my confessions happened, though. So, therapeutic, right?
Stores are tough. Like that was when it really hit me, was the grocery store. When I went to
Sure.
first time that this happened, the first time like since they I think it was like March, it was that Thursday, March 10th or 11th.
Sure.
They closed down school because we had people, or I don't know how many it was at the time.
Yeah.
And now like it doesn't matter. We're up to 128.
Right.
I think we have 10 deaths in Bedford.
Yeah.
So, but I go to Wegmans and I see the back wall is all black. There's no, like, I can see they're not being bread and milk and all those staples. There's not one iota of meat whatsoever. And I'm like, why it's just like a black wall, like shelves, nothing on it at all. And that just like creeped me out so much.
Yeah, scary.
And that's like when like I got back in my car. This is before people were really wearing masks and stuff. And I just started crying because like I'm sensitive anyway, but just to visually see that, it just seemed like it's like Armageddon. And things are more, I think, more controlled now. But I just saw
there are ways in which it still feels that way, where you're looking at all of it and going, oh my word, this is how. And so many big questions and, just the new reality that we really got thrust into super quickly. So it's a huge challenge. And, when you say you cried, I think we all have. I know I have. And I think that we need to, I think that that's important. I laugh a lot and I do a lot of joking, but there's also this, so you go through these stages of like, at the beginning, it's just survival, you're like, whoa. But then there's this other piece, and that's grieving. We're grieving, our kids are grieving not being with their friends all day at school. They're grieving just the lost normalcy. I think we're all grieving in some way. And I think that it's really easy to kind of hold it in and hold it tight. And when we do that, it closes us off to being able to be open to other things. And so I know for myself anyway, it's almost like breathing out is the grief. And when it's out, there's this big space, right? This big relief where you can then breathe in. And if you can look around you, if you can see it, and I think that we all can do this, is to breathe in gratitude. It's life giving. To breathe out the grief, to let it be okay that it's there, to let it out, to then breathe in relief. Breathe in, for me, my center and my relief, my all of it really is around my faith. And so my gratitude is around, for me, it's around this relationship with God that I have. And that's what really helps me kind of navigate. I mean, we can come back around more to navigating, a time such as this if you want, but I didn't want to kind of take off and run either with it.
Perfect. Because I think, for me personally,
Yeah.
I'm on social media a lot, but there is a lot of, Facebook stuff, and, I look at all these people baking all these cookies and, doing all these puzzles and reading all these books. I did read a book, so
hey, all right.
this year.
I finished one finally, but it's taken me a while.
Yeah. And then, it's funny because I'm like, what can I do to chill out? So I found this old mandala book, and I'm how blinding are mandalas? Like, I started doing one, and I'm like, holy cow, they're so small. And then I realized how bad my vision is, that I have to take my contacts out and go like this just to see them. And I'm like, this is not relaxing at all. But that's not true. Actually, here, I'll share my 5-year-old self. I'm in the middle of one now. It's like bunnies.
Oh, hey. No, this is a good coping strategy. This is creativity. This is finding joy in little things.
Yeah, and then when I'm angry, I'll be like, I'm coloring this bunny orange, all sorts of emotions out. I think, and I was in this place where I'm like, food, clothing, shelter, nothing else to manage right now. It's those 3 things. The rest just leave out the door.
Right.
And I don't you were talking about the kids too, and they're home from school, and I'm trying to keep my kids away from others as much as I can. My kids are older. My older one's 19, so he's gonna do what he's gonna do. But it's hard for them to understand what's happening and not have them be around all these people.
It is.
So I don't know how much of an understanding they truly have. The seniors obviously are hit pretty hard with graduation and stuff. But this morning, about what you're breathing in, and even when you mentioned about your faith, for Easter, I went on 2 different, I'm not super religious, but I went on 2 different church services for Easter. Like I went on to that I usually would go to, and then there was one
Right.
that was all in German, and I went to that one too. And like normally, if this wouldn't happen, I wouldn't be able to like, okay, I'm good, hop over to another service in like 5 seconds. You know,
Right.
I feel like there is stuff that's going on that's unique.
Right. There are gifts that are in this time. You know, if you can have eyes to see it, if you can make yourself even choose, if you know, really it's about choosing to see those little nuggets there.
Yeah.
One really great thing you can do with that even is write it down and keep a running list of just little things that are gifts, really. And Voskamp wrote this great book, 1000 Gifts. And I know a lot of people have talked in the past. I was counting my blessings long before Oprah made gratitude journals, you know, big. But no, like I think, okay, so back up a tiny bit in my own struggle with my health stuff. And so I live with an autoimmune disease that has really had a huge hit on our lives. And I live with some genetic stuff as well that has, you know, even after people start coming out of quarantine a little, I'll still be here because I'm in a high risk category. I don't have the immune system that others have. You know, I get some supplemental things to help me with that, but the thing that I had to really start looking at, and what I still do today is, and I compare then to now a lot right now, because when I first got sick, it was very much survival. We didn't even know what was wrong with me. We just knew that I was very, very sick. And it took a long time for them to figure it out and to start the right treatment. So there was very much just survival, and there was grief. And there was also at the same time life still happening, life still moving, because it does. And in that time,
How long ago was that? Because
so it'll be,
I mean, I'll do a confessional to you right now. I can't remember
yeah,
if I told you this or not. So we, like for people out there, don't be
yeah.
sad. You're sad on this thing. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not sad. I'm not sad.
Because we were room parents together when our kids were in
We
first grade.
were.
Yeah, that's how the
17
whole
years,
that's how all this started, because there
Yes.
were 5 Jennifers in our kids class, the 5 Jennifer moms in our kids class. That's when Gen Ed started, and then that's when like all this stuff, you know.
And but we were the room moms to beat all room moms, by the way.
You know, we did kick butt.
We did.
But I remember, like, you know, after that, I didn't see you for a while.
Yeah.
And then I saw you, that was at Davis. I saw you at Lane School. I think our kids were in 3rd grade, maybe?
Yeah, and I had like the tube hanging out of my chest. And
yeah, and I saw you come in a wheelchair, and like I immediately clicked with you when I met you, because you were just like down home real, like just say as it is. And I'm like,
what you see is what you get.
Like that's who I get along with. Like those are my people. Yeah. Just lay it all out and be raw and honest. People too. Yeah. And then when I saw you at Lane School when the kids were older, and then you were in a wheelchair and Brad was with you, and I'm just staring like I remember you having some health issues and they were trying to figure out what was going on.
Right. I've had them for a long time, and it just,
And I didn't know what to, like, I was just in shock, and I didn't know something else happened. Like I didn't know how to handle that. I stepped away a bit, and I don't like that I did that. Because,
that's okay.
Yeah, like I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't feel like I was close enough to you to figure out what was going on. And I think like you're buzzing around, not now, but you're buzzing around town a lot, like, you know.
Yeah, well,
so I think
things are a lot better.
Yeah, and I think other people like that don't know you super well may have known you through that, you know, especially like parents, and then see you now And if there's one thing I
Right.
can't stand is like whispering behind people. That's not
Oh
how
no.
I function. So,
Yeah,
and that's part of this. Like if someone's saying, what happened to
sure.
Jenny? I don't know. Well, then ask. So like,
Right. Right.
what happened?
What happened? Well, I'm cognizant of the time. Are we
Um,
okay to?
we're like 10 minutes. I mean, you can give me like an abridged
Okay.
version
I'll
because your
give you
Facebook
the
thing, I
really
think, is so
abridged. Okay, okay.
the Facebook thing, I
Um,
think, is so open for people to take a look at your topsy turvy
mhm.
Potsy page. There's a lot on there because it's a lot to
Right,
understand. But like,
right.
I guess my question really is like, what does life look like for you
Sure.
now?
Right. So, so 9 years ago, I'll tell you why things looked so bad when you saw me then, and why they look so different now. Is because it's really been this extremely long process. So I have this rare autoimmune disease that's been attacking my central nervous system, and in particular, the part of the brain that controls your autonomic nervous system, really for over 20 years. But about 9 years ago, we hit this sort of point where we knew there was some stuff going on, and people like, oh yeah, and then I had basically symptoms of a stroke, and my whole right side was numb. I was having trouble speaking. um all of my autonomic function, well, I went into autonomic failure, which is all the things you don't think to do. So, breathing, your temperature control, your blood pressure, your heart rate, how quickly you digest food or whether you digest food, how often you pee, all of those things were hugely impacted. And failure, literally, I was at Mass General Hospital for almost 4 months, off and on, in and out. Um, and it took them a year to find a diagnosis. And they really had to start looking at cellular level things. It's a lot of genetic stuff. It's sort of what they call this triad of diseases. So it's an autoimmune form of neuropathy, it's a polyneuropathy, and then something called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is connective tissue disease. So the collagen does
Live Zooming, everyone. Okay, so anyway, that's the 40-minute block from Zoom.
Yeah.
As you were saying.
Zooming, everyone.
Ooh.
Okay, so anyway, that's the 40-minute block from Zoom.
Oh my word.
Two devices on that are echoing on each other.
Is that better? Testing. Come on, how funny is this? This is just.
This
live.
is awesome.
Are we
I
good?
think it worked. Did it work?
How funny is this? Come on, how's that?
Oh,
Did it work?
Okay, so I think we're on. That was my bad.
all right.
Because I was running the live stream in two places. So anyhow, that's just how things are functioning right now. You know, you're mid-conversation.
Yeah,
and the
well, that's
electricity
all
goes out.
good.
Yeah. All right. So that was my bad. I apologize for that. Now I know. Don't have YouTube open live streaming twice while you're on a Zoom call. Okay. So rewinding
It's
to where you're
5 o'clock.
All right.
Okay. So
What was
yeah,
that?
let's go for like I don't know, 5-ish minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Long story short, weird disease, rare stuff. My body doesn't work the way other people's bodies do, but we were able to start me on immunoglobulin therapy, and it did stabilize things, which is why you see me more solid now. Things were not very stable for me for a while, and that I couldn't regulate my blood pressure at all. So
Is that
POTS
what the
syndrome,
IgM
which
thing is?
yeah, so that's antibodies. They literally take thousands of people's antibodies from donated blood and run it through cleaners, and then that's infused into people like me to give us protection if we don't make our own antibodies for our immune systems. And then also in larger doses, it modulates the immune system so that instead of attacking your central nervous system, it sort of kind of fakes it out and stops that attack. So the only downside is that your body breaks it down in like 2 weeks. So I get it every other week. So it's 2 days of infusions, but it's given me my life back. And my wheelchair, initially was an all the time thing. And when I first got it, I was really upset about it. I was really upset. And at the same time, it opened my whole world back up. It gave me my life back. So it's a gift. And now I get to get out of it and walk around. And on bad days, I have to be in it all the time. But there's a wide range there of days. So that's kind of the whole medical scoop, is just I'm weird. rare.
I find weird people to be my most favorite people. 'Cause, I mean, like, yeah, it's to, I mean, to that extreme of what's happened with you over 9 years. Wow.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the thing, Jen, is that I have good friends, and I have an even better God, and he's been faithful, and being able to live in Thanksgiving, because every day there's something good. We just have to look at it. We have to, remember, hey, I breathed in and out all day long today. So there's at least that, I'm stuck inside, but I have this great husband and this cute dog and these two boys who, love their mama even when she makes them crazy, or, there's the beauty outside. There's something to be thankful for every day. So I think if people took any message from me, it's that it would be that, there's something good every day, and we can live in Thanksgiving, and that we can, okay. So I told you I wouldn't shove God down anybody's throat, and I won't, and I'm not. But it is a part of my life and my story, and I write about it a lot on my blog on Topsy Turvy Potsy, and I write about, in particular, in those thank yous and the gifts and the times that he has been there for me. I use that. So right now we're in a hard time, right? And there have been moments where I can't see the other side, and is it going to be okay or not? And am I going to lose this, or is my, I'm below the first percentile nerve count wise, so it's pretty crazy that I can do what I can, but I can look back at that list and see all the ways that he's carried me, all of the good people he's put in my life. And I don't think for 2 seconds that you should feel bad, Jen, if you didn't know what to say when I looked really scary sick. Most people didn't know what to say, and you're here right now, and that's a gift. And you're here for such a time as this, and you keep looking at those things, and you're gonna find joy. And so yeah, when I'm really scared and I'm uncertain, I cling to my faith and I tell Jesus I trust him, and I have that mantra of I trust you, Jesus, I trust you, Jesus, I trust you, Jesus. And I do, and it works for me. And I think that whatever it is in your life, find the things that help you remember the good. Because it's not all loss. There will be good that will come of this time. There will be new habits formed, friendships that were deepened, like ours. Ours was already deepened, honey. But you know what I mean? They're going to be gifts of this time. Our kids are going to be stronger for it. Right now, they're not happy, but it's going to make them stronger. And we might not see it for a little bit. Go on.
This kind of interaction, I mean, that's one of the things that I found, because the people that I've had Zooms with, for the most part, are not people I normally would not hang out with, but get into deep conversation with. If you're sitting here having a Zoom or a Skype or whatever it is with someone, I've seen more deeper conversations with people. I'm in a Friday night Zoom thing with a bunch of friends of mine.
Ooh, fun.
And some of them I don't even know like that well at all. They were just acquaintances.
Uh-huh.
And some I realized like I don't even know what you do for a living. And I've known these people for years. And it's just interesting the depth that you get to know someone
Mhm.
that you normally wouldn't. And I think taking what you said about those nuggets, you know, and it doesn't have
Yeah.
to be grandioso. I mean, it can be
No.
small, like, you know, I don't know, like my candle just didn't burn my apartment down. Woohoo! You know, and
Hey.
like this morning, my cousin who lives in Florida, her daughter, Justine, if she's watching, was just commissioned as an ensign for the Navy. And I was able to watch that ceremony, and like that would never have happened normally.
Right,
So
right.
there are
See?
some like interesting windows that are opening up of things
Mhm.
that you know you normally wouldn't have. So
Yeah,
I mean, yes, it's an awful time right now, and there's so much uncertainty. And
it is. And I'm not downplaying it or minimizing it. There is. And I say grieve, because if you hold on to it, that's not going to help you.
yeah, yeah,
Let it out, breathe it out, walk it out, trust it out, so that you can breathe in the good. If you hold it in, that's not going to help you or anyone.
yeah.
I don't have all the answers, but I trust that we're going to be okay.
And that's why I like to, you know, talking with you because it's like it's just the guy
Aww.
outside. Like I can come out there and you know find one good thing. So like you know as we're
Yeah.
signing off, I have another Zoom in 6 minutes for work.
Oh, fun.
Bedford TV is well actually I don't want to give it away. They'll have to take a look on there. But you can so people can take a look at your stuff on it's public, right? Your
Yeah, it's Topsy Turvy Potsy.
on Facebook.
And it's on Facebook, and it's also on WordPress, the actual blog itself, but the page is where I'm probably more active.
And it's funny. I mean, I don't mean the situation is not funny, but the fact that you can find like this and like your hair looks like gorgeous and like your collar done up and your walls like match your couch really well. You know, like there's positive to things, and that's what happened to me. And that's you know, normally I give people rocks. I don't even have. I don't know. What can I give you? Here's a. I'll mail this to you.
Hey, all right.
But I think that's a great thing to leave people with is to find something positive, you know, no matter how small it is. That like I got
it doesn't
I
have to
showered,
be
you know, whatever.
right.
You
Did
don't
that water feel good?
Yeah, it could be, you know, I ate a meal today, fine, you know, and not have people be so hard on themselves.
Yeah, don't judge yourself. Listen, everybody else is putting, great pictures on Facebook. It's a moment. It's not their whole life. You know what? Their house is just as messy as yours.
Get those kids outside in those pictures, you know, get over here.
That's right.
It's not our best moments, and that's okay.
That's all right. It's all right.
It's a perfect example of unconditional love.
That breathe life into you. What are the things that coloring or encouraging other people, or look for the things that kind of breathe a little life into you. I would say too. Get a little fresh air, just very distant, and cover that face with a mask.
Yeah, and as of today, for those of you in, or not today, sorry, May 6th, I believe it was. That's my ending news part. That Governor Baker did say that everyone now is required in the state of Massachusetts to wear a mask. I think it's as of May 6th. This was just breaking like an hour ago.
Yeah.
So, all right, so let's sign off. And I'm just so happy to see you and want to give you
I'm happy to see you. I love you, girl.
I love you too. And just take advice from Jenny in that way and find something, one thing, and then that one thing will then turn to something else. I'm gonna go make my bed, even though it's 5:00, because it'll
be fun when you climb in. The blankets will all be just right. They will. I love that.
That's true. All right, I want to give a special thank you also to Mike Davis, who's on the back.
Thank you, Mike.
and his patience with us pulling this together, and me not having any concept of time as usual. But I hope you guys have a smile, and I encourage you, touch is a huge thing for me. Like there's no, I can't even hug my kids right now because they're bouncing from one house to the next. So like, that's really hard for me. So take one hand this way and one hand this, go do it. Don't just listen. One hand this way, one hand this way. It's like the Macarena. Wrap it around yourself, give yourself a really big hug, 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 and know that it will be okay.
It will. It will.
Leave it there. All right. Thank you, Jenny. And we will see all of you soon. Bye.
Take care. Bye. Be well.
Mwah.